So we have already built this project management app using this data model that we see here. So we have already created, these objects, the client object. We have the client object done, we have the project object, we have a consultant object and the assignment object. So the app is having these 4 objects at this point of time. What we have not done yet is we have not created any of the relationship or lookup fields. So this field I have not created, which means there is, now both the objects exist, the client and project object, but there is no relationship between the client and project. That is not yet done. Same way, we do have projects and we do have consultants, but we have not created a relationship between those objects, which ideally is going to happen through the assignment object. So these relationships currently do not exist, right? And what we need to do now is we need to basically go ahead and create these relationship fields, right? So before we create the relationship fields, we'll try to understand a little more on the type of relationship fields which are permitted in Salesforce. This is what we have already done. Yeah, working with relationship fields. So the type of relationship fields that we have in Salesforce. So in Salesforce, when we have the requirement to create a relationship between 2 objects, ideally it is done through a relationship field. Okay, so it would be something like this. You have object 1, let's say this is the parent, and then you have object 2, which is the child. Okay, now what you would do is you will create a relationship field on the child object and connect it to the parent object. So this is how it works. So the relationship field always needs to be created on the child object and it will connect it to the parent object. So this is how relationship would work. It's more like a foreign key that we are going to set in the child object. All right. So that's all we need to do. So let's say if we talk about clients and projects. So for us, our client object is parent and project object is child, right? So now you will basically need to go and create a relationship field on the project object and relate it to the client object, correct? So that's what is needed. But before we just go ahead and create that relationship field, there are 2 types of, in fact, there are 3 types of relationship fields that you will find in Salesforce. Out of those, there are 2 which are internal relationships, basically the relationship between the objects within Salesforce. And then there is an external relationship, which is primarily for, if you have field objects outside the Salesforce database. So I'm not getting into that part right now. I'll just be confining the discussion, the scope of discussion for now, to the ones which are available within Salesforce. So you would see, in the field types only, you will see there are 2 types of relationship fields that you can use or create. One is a lookup, one is a master detail relationship. All right. Now, why do we have these 2 types of relationship fields available? Because, these 2, while they are actually, creating the relationship field, the overall purpose is same, but these 2 have different kind of attributes. Lookup relationship is a generic kind of a relationship which is created between 2 objects. It's a parent-child relationship, very generic kind of a relationship. And master detail is a special type of a relationship with some special attributes. All right. So let's quickly understand what is that we have with lookup and what is that we get with the master detail, and then based on that we will decide which relationship field is going to be right for us. Okay, so lookup relationship, basically here the relationship field is not required. You may make it mandatory or a required field, or you may keep it as a not required field, which would mean that child records can exist without being associated to a parent. So there is a possibility. In lookup relationship, child records can have their separate owners. So parent record and child record do not necessarily need to have same owner. They can have different owners. Okay, child records are not always deleted with the parent record, so you don't have to delete the child records because the child records can exist without parent. So you don't have to delete the child record along with the parent record. Roll-up summary fields cannot be created. So this roll-up summary field option is not available with lookup relationship. In master detail relationship, there are slightly different. As I said, it is more of a special type of relationship with some additional attributes. Here you have the things are slightly different. So in master detail relationship, the relationship field is always required. So you cannot create a child record without associating it to a parent. So it is always required. That's the case with master detail relationship. Ownership is determined by the parent, by the master record. Okay. So by default, the owner of the parent record always becomes the owner of all the child records. So there is no concept of separate record owner for the child records. All detailed records are deleted with the master record. So when a master with the parent record is deleted, all the child records will get deleted. And you have the option of creating the roll-up summary field. So you can go and create a roll-up summary field if you are defining a master detail relationship between two objects, right? So if you look into our data model, the projects, the client and project, right? So in that we have requirement in the data model, we do have requirement of two roll-up summary. One is number of projects and number of completed projects, right? So here, if I want to leverage the roll-up summary field, it would make sense for me to create a master detail relationship here, all right? But then there are other factors also that you need to consider. Now, if you create a master detail relationship, what would happen? Owner of the client, person who owns the client, will automatically be having access to all the projects, and he will be by default owner of all the projects. Now, if you have a different requirement, if you feel that no, every project will have a different project owner or something like that, then master detail will not fit into your requirement. So, these are tricky things, and these are things which we need to understand while taking decisions. So, when we are doing the data model, when we are planning for our relationships, etc., these are the points which we need to consider. Is it fine for us to, have all the child records being owned by the same person who owns the master record or the parent record? If that is the case, master detail is an okay choice. Do we need a roll-up summary? If we need a roll-up summary, then master detail is the right choice. So, there are several factors. Now, if you look at this here in this particular scenario, this is a little tricky situation. So, because I need roll-up summary, I have two requirements here, right? So, I need roll-up summary. I'm planning to, trying to define the relationship between client to projects, and I am considering master detail or roll-up. Master detail or lookup. So, because I need a roll-up summary, I think master detail will be a good choice. Because I need different owners for different projects, I feel lookup is going to be a good choice. Okay, so now if we basically want to have the roll-up summary and different owner for different projects at the same time, then we need to take a decision. In most of the cases, you would then go ahead with a lookup relationship and try to do roll-up, not straightforward with the roll-up summary, but use some sort of automation logic to do this calculation. Okay, but that is slightly advanced concept. I will come into that a little later once we start working with the logics, etc. For now, I would just go ahead with a master detail relationship. I know I would not be able to create separate owners for separate projects. So I'll just, for the ease of understanding of everyone, for now, I'll ignore this part, and we will go ahead with a master detail relationship for this, so that we are able to create our roll-up summary fields. All right, so that's what we are going to do. Now let's quickly get into our Salesforce and then create the relationship fields that we have. Okay, so that's about the that's about one relationship. There's one more quick concept that I want to discuss. So for client to project, it's basically, so we have client and then we have projects. It's basically a one-to-many relationship, and it's simple. So basically, what we need to do is we just need to go and create a relationship field on the project, which will connect it to this clients, and that's it, right? However, the situation for projects and consultants, the situation for project and consultants sorry excuse me. Yeah. Okay, so the relationship between project and consultant object is through a junction object. I spoke about this earlier. So there is a junction object here. Because it's a many-to-many relationship, we need a junction object. So in this case, you will need to create the relationship fields not on any of these, you will not create a relationship field on the project, you will not create a relationship field on the consultant. You will create two relationship fields on assignment. One will connect it to the project, the other one will connect it to the consultant. All right. And in this kind of a scenario, when there is a junction object, usually you can create lookup relationship fields also, but a master detail relationship is a better choice here if there is a junction object. Right. So we will create master detail relationships of client project. We will do master detail relationship for project consultant through the junction object, the assignment object. Again, we are going to use master detail relationships. All right. So how many relationship fields do I need to create? One I will create on the project. This is one, and this will be connecting to the client. And the second one I will create on assignment, which will connect it to the project. Third one I'll create on assignment, which will connect it to the consultant. So we need to create total 3 relationship fields now. All right, so let's go to Salesforce and quickly go ahead and create these. So for creating the relationship, it's pretty simple. We'll just go to setup, go to object manager, and we are going to create the relationship fields in the project object and assignment object. So let me search for the project object. So we are on the project object now. Go to fields and relationships, create a new field which is of type master detail. I told you, right, there are 3 types of relationship fields that you would find here, which we have not discussed earlier, but good for us to understand it now. Lookup master detail, this is what we are discussing. External lookup relationship, which is basically used for connecting to external objects. We have not discussed, or we have not seen the scenarios of external lookup relationship yet, so we will not get into this for now. For now, we are just talking about the lookup relationship and the master detail relationship, right? In case you want to understand at any point of time, you want to refer to the difference between these two things, you can always come to the screen and you can read. This is what we have already discussed. These are the same thing. The relationship field is always required, etc. So the same stuff here. Okay, so we will just go and create a master detail relationship for us. That's what we need. So let's go create a master detail relationship. Click on next. Related to which object? So this will be related to client object, right? Yes, here is the client object. Click on next. And then, yeah, just put a field name. Yeah, so I put a field label, field name. That's it. Child relationship name is projects. That's fine. Nothing needs to be changed here. I'll just go and click on next. Make it visible. It's already visible. Click on next, next, and save. Okay. So now we do have a master detail relationship between client and project. Okay. So now if I go back to the database, so now if I want to, because now I have the relationship set between these two, this is already done, right? Yeah. So we have this relationship field set up from client to project. So now because the relationship is there, I should be able to create these 2 roll-up summary fields, right? So roll-up summary fields need to be created on the parent. It will be rolling up the information from the child objects to the parent. All right. So this is what we are going to do now. Let's quickly go ahead and create these fields as well. So we'll go to the object manager. We'll search for the client object now. Go to the client object and go to fields relationships. Try to create a new field. And you would see the roll-up summary field is active now. Most of the times, if there is no master detail relationship and the object on which you are trying to create the field, if that is not master of a master detail relationship, you will not see this field active because it is not available for those objects, right? So now it is available. You will just go click on next. Put a name for this roll-up summary field. I'll say number of projects. Okay, so we'll just click on next. What do we want? We want count. So there are these different options which are available. You can do count. You can do count, sum, min, max. So I want to do a count here. I just want count of projects. I'll just go ahead and create this field. count of projects, click on next. Yeah, make it visible, go to next. And now we'll create the next field, which is did we create that field? Yeah, field it's created, roll-up summary field. Now we are going to go ahead and create one more field, which is for number of completed projects. For that, we would need, I think in the project object, we need to have a checkbox field, which is called, which will basically give an indication if the project is completed. So what we can do, we can quickly go to project object, go to fields and relationships, and under that I'll just go and create a new checkbox field. Call it completed. By default it is unchecked. Make it visible. Okay, I think we're done with the field on the project object. Now I'll go back to client object, and then I will go back to the client object, and then I will go ahead and create the other roll-up summary field, which will be count of completed projects, right? So again, we will choose a roll-up summary field here, go to next, and we'll say number of completed projects. Go to next. Again, we are going to do a count. Okay, so it will be a roll-up to project. We will do a count, and this time we'll have to choose a filter criteria. So our filter criteria here is going to be choose a filter criteria. So filter criteria will be completed equals true. So we'll just take the projects which are completed and show the count of those. Click on next, make it visible, next, and save. Yeah, so our roll-up summary fields are ready. We have created both the roll-up summary fields. So we do have number of projects and we have number of completed projects, right? So this is done. Now next thing that we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and create the relationship fields on the assignment object. So on the assignment object, there are two relationship fields and both are going to be master detail. So let's go to the assignment object, click on new, and then relationship type will be master detail relationship. Click on next. Relates to, firstly we will connect it to project. All right. And the other one that we are going to do is going to be connecting it to the consultant object. So we'll again create a master detail relationship. Go to next. Consultant, next. And this field is also ready. Okay, so there are two relationship fields here. One connects it to the consultant object, the other one connects it to the project object, and that is how it's acting as a junction object between these two objects. All right, now let me quickly try to do one more thing. I'll go to new and I'll try to create one more field. But if you see now, this master detail relationship option is grayed out. You don't see the option to create the master detail relationship anymore, right? You don't have this option. Reason for this, you cannot create this type of field because this object already has two master detail relationships, which means what? there is a limitation on how many number of master detail relationship fields you can create on an object. So any object can have maximum 2 master detail and 5 lookup relationships. All right. So that's the reason why we are not able to create another master detail relationship. Anyhow, we do not need the master detail relationship anymore. So now let's look into our project management app. Let's go to the project management app. Yeah, we'll go to the project manager app, and if you try to create, let me create a client. Let's go and create some data now. So I'll create a client ABC, and I'll create one more client XYZ. I'm not entering all the details for now. None of the other fields are required, so it's letting me create the records. So I have 2 clients ABC and XYZ. Now if I create a project, and if I name this project SFDC Sales Cloud Implementation, it would let me choose this project belongs to, is associated with which client, ABC or XYZ. So I can choose this is for ABC. So that relationship is there. Now this project is associated to client ABC. And if I'm trying to create one more project, I would say Service Cloud Implementation. This I will connect with XYZ. So it's letting me do that, right? Okay. Same way, if I'm creating an assignment, so I can choose, let me create a couple of consultant records as well. So there's one consultant. Let me create one more consultant. Okay. So I've got a couple of consultants. I've got a couple of projects created. Now, if I go to an assignment, I will be able to create new assignment record. I go to go to projects, and under the project, if I try to create a new assignment record, yeah, I can do that. Save. This field needs to appear here. Okay. So we are not getting the fields, which we need to be able to see here. Ideally, when I try to create an assignment record, I should have the fields for the project and consultant, which is not appearing here. Reason for that is we may need to, make some certain tweaks on the page layout, because things are not on the page layout, and there are required fields which we are not able to fill. So we'll just, continue to work on that. We will fix that issue and also discuss about, the things that we can do in the page layout in our next discussion.